Hi, welcome to Mitch's Rant Time, the show where I talk and you listen. As always, warning before, I do use adult language and sometimes can get vulgar in my content. The show is about philosophy, politics, religion, all sorts of things, and I'm not afraid to use adult language. So viewer discretion is advised. Now we got that out of the way, let's begin the rant. Now, as many of you are aware, when this comes out, recently to when this comes out, there's been a tragedy. In Virginia, a gentleman decided to assault three individuals, killing two of them, putting one in at least a fairly critical condition, as well as eventually taking his own life. Why this got such great coverage from media, I think, is for multiple reasons. One, he had filmed it on his own portable device, as well as it was a news crew. So they were in the middle of filming. He had attacked them in the middle of filming, so it could be caught on camera for a lot of people to see. The other reason why I think it's, other than the fact that a gun was used and that, the only other reason I think it was so big is because of the context of what is going on. And this applies to the two extremes, the two sides of that. And the issue, the context, however you want to say, is that this gentleman was ridiculed for being black and for being gay. And then obviously that puts into the context he was black and gay. For the more progressives, it seems to, doesn't really even seem to be an issue. It's kind of a non-issue for them. They're, of course, attacking guns and coming out with, oh, we have common sense rules. And as always, I'll get into guns in another video. But the conservative response, and I have a lot of conservative friends, or at least conservative friends, or I follow people who are conservative on social media, and a lot of fairly progressive. I do more progressive news and progressive friends, but that's for other reasons I'll explain in another day. But the response is kind of saddening. I got into an argument with someone on social media about what had happened. And I was fairly ignorant to the reasons why or what was done. I'd heard that it was a shooting on camera. I had known what it was, but someone had said that I was just replying to a post. And the post, it said, it had a picture of the shooter, and it read as follows. Guns don't kill people. Black, gay Obama supporters, like, who fall into the liberal trap of a victim complex, kill people. And while I get it was an attempt to be humor, and I myself make a lot of attempts to be humorous in an off-color fashion, that's fucking sick. I'm blatantly ignorant. Because it's easy to pick on a group or pick on someone that was already picked on. And it's ironic because, I mean, it's in the air. We don't know. This person may or may not have filed claims. Apparently, he did file claims of harassment, so it may have been legitimate. We don't know if the people he attacked were actually people who did something to him, or he just wanted to do it and he just snapped. We don't know the degree of mental health. You know, This guy we don't know, we don't know how mentally stable he was, so it's hard to really make a determination on any of that. Well, I'm not an expert in any of the fields necessary to make such a determination. However, I do know that to make a statement like that, to make such a generalization, and to blame again ideology, or to blame an object, or to blame whatever, and not pin the blame on the person that did it, is it's fucking annoying. It's something we do all the fucking time. Whether you're a liberal or a conservative or whatever, we always blame things that are not blamable. We blame religion for terrorism. We blame guns for murder. We blame sexuality for rape. We blame this for that. We blame that for this. We blame so many things that aren't to blame. They are things that can be used as an excuse, as a crutch, as an interpretation, as a tool to commit the atrocity, but they are not the committer of the atrocity. They're not the one pulling the trigger. They're not the one flying the plane. They're not the one assaulting a woman. They're not the one killing. They're not the one stealing. They're not the one doing the fucking crime. And I'm fucking sick of it. And I really think conservatives has kind of pushed it to the fucking edge with that. Because they're going to run on that. And back to the argument, I was in a debate with this guy, and he suggested that the guy should have just changed his ways. And I had asked, what do you mean by change his ways? He's like, well, the guy said that he was making fun of for being gay. Should have changed being gay. And I was like, and of course, I had the argument, which is, oh, so you think it's that simple? When did you choose not to be gay? I was a lot more, I was more provocative in the language I chose, but I still just, and of course he was an asshole about it, and he is. The guy's an asshole, an idiot, doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He eventually went into the, well, you're not tolerant of my intolerance, so you're a hypocrite. It's like, no, you can't be being tolerant of intolerance is, second degree intolerance. It's like saying, oh, well, you shouldn't attack the guy, you shouldn't tackle the guy who's robbing someone because you're just as bad. You're assaulting someone. Well, I guess if you want to say, yeah, you're using assault to end it, but what do? Call the police? The guy's got a gun on someone. You don't know what they're going to do. You actually take action in a way that can end the potential of people being harmed. You're not, it's the same thing. But of course, he tried to use a lot of weird things. Or say, oh, well, people told me to stop drinking and I stopped drinking. Is that bad advice? It's like, no, drinking, having an addiction is not the same as being gay. It's, people don't understand. Being gay is like being straight. It's not it's not like you just wake up and are like, I'm just going to start being gay. No, it's, you just fucking are. And even if it is a choice, you shouldn't be hounded for your choices. That's like saying, okay, then so you say it's a choice. Well, then, if someone's being hounded for being a Christian, should they change their ways? Of course not. No. Of course. The guy's an idiot. He's a conservative idiot. So, of course, anything having to do with Christianity, he's just going to blindly, do that. He has no objectivity when it comes to that. Not that there's anything wrong with Christianity. I don't necessarily agree with it. I think it definitely has its flaws, just like every fucking religion. I do think Islam's far more violent. I do think Judaism is a little more dark and cold. I definitely do think it's the most peaceful of the three main Abrahamic religions, but it still has its fucking flaws. But there's no objectivity there. And there's no objectivity with any of it. He couldn't take himself out. He couldn't be empathetic. And I was like, yeah, lack is empathy. And that's the thing, is there's no empathy. There's no empathy, and there's no fucking understanding. There is no fucking logic. There is no. It's just finding something to blame, finding something to get angry about, and finding a way to use tragedy to fulfill an agenda. And that's the main thing. And I'm not talking conspiracy theory agendas. I'm not talking like, oh, there's a conspiracy, and I'm not going to go Alex Jones on you guys. What I'm saying is that both the liberal platform, agenda, whatever you want to call it, that's the main thing, is the platform, the ideology, the goal, where they want America to go, where the party, the ideology wants to take the American government and society. Same with the conservative platform agenda, where it wants to take the nation, governmental and societal. This is just seen as a stepstone, as a tool, as a little tiny battle for their agendas. And that's what makes me probably the most sick. It's exploiting tragedy for political gain, for a political message. Aren't you tired of people getting killed? Enough is enough. Well, yeah, but simply blaming guns doesn't do anything. Aren't you tired? Oh, gays have no morals. See, this guy was gay and he tried to kill 3 people. He's black too. See, blacks are racist. It's not whites, it's blacks. And it's just what you get. And I know not all conservatives, not all progressives, or liberals, are that way. There are many, dare I say, this may be giving a little too much credit to both sides. The majority of each typically can be reasonable and partially objective. But it always seems, I find a great many who can't be. A great many people who follow a kind of groupthink indoctrination type mentality. Yeah, it's one that seems indoctrinated. It's one that seems no one seems to deviate. No one seems to be different. Now there are people that view things a little differently, but no one seems to be different on the platform. No one seems to have consistent logic because, in all honesty, there is no consistent logic with it. It's all mumbo jumbo. It's all just platitudes. It's all just platforms. It's just talking points. You know, they're all arbitrary and specific to the topic. And that's what it comes to. You're going to have conservatives using it to attack LGBT rights, as well as to attack Black Lives Matter. And those, of course, are going to continue to attack gun rights. And no, they don't want to take away all guns, but like I said, I'll get into that video later. The legislation that's pushed is not at all intellectual. It's not common sense. And again, it's just people pushing their own lifestyles. I don't think you should have these guns. I don't have these guns, so you should. I'm white and I'm straight. You should be too. Those are the two ideologies being pushed. And this tragedy, the death of these 2 people, an assault, it's gonna have an extreme effect on the psyche of the third person. They're all going to be used for political purposes. And that's all it's become. That's all anything's become. If you die and you can become a statistic, you can bet your fucking ass you will be talking about it. but not about how great you are, not about the tragedy it is to have lost you, but how you are a statistic that proves a political point, and how you should elect me. Me and the hypothetical. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry this has been very poorly put together. I don't know why I'm getting so messed up about it. I wasn't upset when I first argued about it, but just thinking about this really, really digs at me, because it's very discouraging when you realize how much and how often tragedy is used just to prove how much we turn tragedy into martyrdom. And I bet we do it all the time, but I bet every person who ever died because of that, because of gun violence, because of whatever, and it's not even dying because of gun violence, died by the hands of someone with a gun. Any fetus that's been aborted, any, the mother of a fetus that's been aborted, any, victim of rape, any victim of religious fundamental terrorism, racism, sexism, homophobia, whatever. The last thing they were thinking before they died was probably not, I hope my death goes to this political agenda. They're probably thinking of their families, their friends, their loved ones, and things on this. We spit on that. We spit on that society. We thrive on tragedy. We're so desensitized to it. But we're going to debate not the mental health of this person, not whether or not there could have been something that could have prevented it by reaching out to him. Not saying, well, he did this wrong. Maybe he could have done this. We're just saying it's a tragedy. Let's remember those that we lost. We're going to use it to try and regulate guns and try and keep blacks and gays down. So applaud. Good fucking job, America. It really is. We've been doing it for a while. 9/11. He used that tragedy as an excuse to invade a country that had nothing to do with it, and to set up a surveillance state and justify it. And we still use it to this day to justify it. Those people are dead. They died here. A lot of them died heroes. A lot of them died for something we don't even know. Sandy Hook, Columbine, Oklahoma City bombing, Aurora. They all died because some fucking nut job decided to take their life. They felt like it was a good thing. Some nut job felt that they were compelled to do this for whatever reason. Whether they wanted to set a record in most deaths occurred, whether they wanted to prove a point, get attention, whatever. That's why they were killed. But we turn them as always no martyrdom. And we sit back and talk about how the assailant should have changed his ways. As if it were so simple. We talk about how, well, if we had a magazine regulation, one more step in paperwork. Shocking. As if it's that easy. Tell it to the parents. The camera. or the spouse and kids of the reporter. How easy it would have been. It's not. I don't like to get emotional. We use emotion to fuel a argument. But in all honesty, think about that. Let's get a little fucking human. I don't have right now. Down to the point of emotion. That's a policy. Get into that. Anyway, if you like anything I said, please like this video. If you feel you have anything to say, please comment. Start a discussion. That's the only way we can grow. And as always, if you want to see more of this or any of the other content I talk about wanting to do, please subscribe. Thank you. Take some of what I said. Think about it. Because we're supposed to be better.